Hi once again, and welcome back to On the Move, where we go behind the scenes of Forsyth County's construction projects. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to go inside the scenes of what it's like on our resurfacing projects around Forsyth County roads. We're excited to dive right into it. Tim Allen is the Assistant Director of Engineering, who's kind enough to join us, and Travis Wareham is the Roads and Bridges Superintendent. Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time for us today.
You're welcome.
We know it's a very busy time here in Forsyth County, especially when the sun is shining. You guys are out on the road somewhere doing work. Where are we at today and what's happening right here behind us?
Well, today, Russell, we're down here at Wimber Concourse. We're doing some deep patching. We got machines out all over around right now. We're kind of in an area where you can't see everything at once, but we're doing deep patching and just getting the bad spots out of the road, getting it ready for resurfacing coming in the fall.
Excellent. How important are resurfacing projects such as this one in Forsyth County, and what does it really mean to a community?
Well, it's very important because it's really one of the most cost-efficient ways to maintain our asphalt paved streets. And what we're doing here is we're getting the bad areas that are failing at early stages and fixing them where water can't permeate down into the sublayers of the street, which eventually could cause even bigger problems, more costly repairs. And plus it improves the traction on the streets for safety too. So.
It doesn't matter what kind of community you're in, I would imagine, whether it's the wealthiest county in Georgia or not, or anywhere in between, roads are going to deteriorate. And it doesn't matter where you are, you're going to have to resurface roads, and that's what Roads and Bridges, a division of Department of Engineering, does here in Forsyth County. How are projects determined, such as this one today?
So all 1,200 plus miles of roads in the county have been ridden and rated with the same analytics. So we have a numerical score from 0 to 100, and of course, the lower you go, your failing grade needs attention. So that's how we get our first list. We'll go from worst roads to best roads to start the list, and then we actually go out and visually inspect it to make sure those scores are consistent with what the actual conditions in the field are. Once we have that, we'll put the list together and determine what the resurfacing is for next year. Like we're doing the 2025 LMIG resurfacing list now for next year. And the high traffic roadways like Ronald Reagan, McFarland, Mathis Airport, any of the higher traffic corridors, they have to be resurfaced every 12 to 14 years, where some of these secondary subdivision streets can go 20, 22 years because they have less traffic. So it allows us to keep up with the demand and have the quality streets for our public.
When you talk about high traffic roads in Forsyth County, I imagine 15, 20, 30 years ago, that number wasn't very high. It's different today. It seems like almost every road is likely a high traffic road, or at least is getting to that part. So how long do these projects typically take, guys? I mean, I'm sure it depends, but how long in a typical residential project?
Typically the way it works is once we've developed their list and we've locked it down, like for 2025, we'll give it to Roads and Bridges, they'll verify it, and then once they finish, they're still working on the 2024 deep patching ahead of our contractor. They have to get ahead of them about 25, 30 miles ahead before he shows up in town to stay ahead. So they will not stop. They'll just start over on the 2025 list and go ahead and try to get it finished before we let that resurfacing next year. So it could be from the time the Roads and Bridges comes in and does deep patching till the time it's resurfaced, it could be 6 months. And what we hold off on is if we have to do any edge milling, typically we hold off on around the curb. We'll hold off on the edge milling and just do the deep patching because it's a flush patch when you get finished with it, and it's not as intrusive. And then we'll wait and do the edge milling closer to the time that the contractor is going to actually come in and resurface.
Makes perfect sense, and that's why I imagine there's that period where a resident might think, well, they left unfinished work here,
right.
But actually it's not. You're just waiting for that next phase, and you're kind of ahead of schedule in a lot of ways.
Right.
Excellent. All right, good to know. That answers that question, something I never knew.
Right, and the county, we've been doing our deep patching since before I came to work here in 1995. The county was doing this deep patching way back then, and we've continued to do it because it's something that our guys can do more economically than bidding it out. And by doing that, we control the quality and the quantity. We get more quantity patch, and therefore making our roads last even longer for less money than if we bid it out to a contractor. So that's why we don't do the resurfacing, because we can't touch their price as far as a laydown crew is concerned. So, but deep patching is something that we can do proficiently.
It sounds like it's a balancing act between getting the work done and then also mining taxpayer dollars.
Yes.
That brings us to the next point. How are these projects funded typically?
A combination of funding, LMIG funding, local maintenance from GDOT. They give us a percentage of the gas tax every year based on the number of road miles, total road miles we have in the county compared to other counties. They split it up countywide. This year we got $3.3 million from LMIG, plus there was another budget surplus. We actually got $3.7 million for that from Georgia. That's not typical, so we got, you know, total almost $7 million this year, but that is not typical. Typically it'll be in the 3.4 million. The rest of the money comes from Splosh. We have money set up in Splosh 8 for next year, and hopefully our Splosh will continue on and continue funding this good work.
Absolutely. So again, SPLOST 9 is on the ballot for November of later this year in 2024. Something to keep in mind as well, that some of that money can be used for projects such as this. What do residents need to know? Today we're in a little bit more of a commercial area here at Windward, but residential projects as well. What do residents need to know and set expectation levels whenever work is being done in their neighborhood, let's say?
Yeah, generally before we move into a residential neighborhood, we try to put out signs, you know, a week or so in advance to kind of give them a heads up, and it has our office number too. They can call for any questions, but we typically ask them, you know, not to park the cars in the street. So if we have to do any patches, they're not in the way. We're going to be in there temporarily. You know, I know it's going to be a loud, stinky mess for just a little bit, but you know, that's pretty much the main thing. It's that necessary evil to get in there and get those streets repaired right and have new roads in the finish. Right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, it's just a short process, but sometimes it's aggravating, and we understand it.
How can residents or businesses or anybody necessarily in the community maybe make a suggestion for road work to be done? Is that something that can be done in the county? Is there a way that can be communicated?
Certainly, they can do it either one of two ways. On the Roads and Bridges website, there's a place you can put in a work request for, like, if you have a pothole or something, you know, pavement repair that you think needs to be done, cracking, what have you, you can list it there. Or if you just say, when is my road going to be resurfaced? You can send those questions in, and you know, we work together, so he may have to get with me and we decide give him an answer on that one, but that's the easiest way to do it.
For those that might not know either, before we let you both go here, how big is the Roads and Bridges team? How big is that, and how big of a unit is this?
We have 4 different crews. We have what we call our construction crew that does with our ditching and, you know, and pipe crews that deal with anything from storm drains to sinkholes, and then we have a mowing crew that does all the right-of-way mowing and tree cutting. We also remove dead animals. That could be from any crew, but most of the time it's from the mowing crew because we have them so spread out. And then we have our deep patching crew, and then we also have a pothole patching crew, and they do a lot of smaller repairs that, you know, we don't need to bring the big machinery in to do. So we have about, right now I think we still have a couple open positions, but I mean, we're around 60 employees right now.
And you heard it, a couple open positions, and there's a great opportunity here with engineering and with roads and bridges as well. You can visit the careers page of ForsythCO.com for much more information on those positions. Well, guys, I know we got to get the crew back to work here. We got them locked down here for this interview, so we appreciate the crew and all that you guys do. Travis and Tim, thank you so much for all you do in the county and for joining us here today.
You're welcome.
That's going to do it for this edition of On the Move. Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to catch more at ForsythCO.com. Of course, on TV Forsyth as well, Comcast Channel 23, AT&T Channel 99, and as always on our social media channels. So long. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time on the Move. So long.